Chat GPT making your life more productive, part 2. Number 1, summarizing entire books instantly and with whatever follow-up questions you want to ask. And additionally, summarizing quotes from these books to use when you're talking to other people about it. As an example, I asked Chat GPT to summarize the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It spits out the 7 habits talked about in the book with 1 paragraph each. But here's where the large language model AI part kicks in. Next, I typed, "Can you expand on number 3? And it understands what I'm asking to go into more detail about the 3rd habit of highly effective people and summarizes just that portion into 7 additional paragraphs and 4 main bullet points about that 1 habit. You could keep narrowing down and have it expand on just one of these 4 points made out of the 7 original points, and you can consume the gist of whole books in a single setting this way, focusing down on the parts you find most valuable and then just skimming an overview of the rest. Then, once you feel like you've gotten the information you want out of it, you still might need to be able to talk about this book at some point in your life, maybe with whoever told you to read it in the first place. So I asked ChatGPT to give me some widely used quotes of the book. Bam! With no delay, it spits out 6 commonly used quotes from that book, including under each quote a little context from what that quote is referring to. So you're not just regurgitating some quote from the book, you can actually understand the context around it. I am now highly effective. If the book you're having it sum up for you happens to be about history, maybe you're a college student studying up for an exam or something, ChatGPT understands what it means to make a study guide and is able to hit the main points of a given topic that are likely to be on a college level test. I asked it to get me up to speed on the War of 1812, and it pumped out this study guide with topics and subtopics. Causes of the War of 1812, A, B, C, D, and E. The major events and battles, A through F. Native American alliances and conflicts, A through C. Key figures, James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, William Henry, Tecumseh. Is that where Tecumseh comes from? Oliver Hazard Perry, Sir Isaac Brock, Andrew Jackson. And then 5, the Treaty of Ghent and the war's aftermath. Maybe you've already studied a bunch, but see some stuff on here you don't recognize. You can have the AI go into a bit more detail about any one of the things listed on here. Can you go into detail about 5A? ChatGPT says, sure, I'd be happy to provide more details about the Treaty of Ghent, which ended the War of 1812. Who knew that? Then, bim bam boom, here's a new study guide all about the Treaty of Ghent, which admittedly I'm learning about for the very first time right here. Negotiations, A through D. Terms of the treaty, A through F. Impacts of the treaty, so on, so on. And the follow-up questions that you ask don't have to immediately follow whatever ChatGPT just told you. It remembers the entire conversation that you've had. I asked it, how was Thomas Jefferson involved in the war? ChatGPT comes back with the fact that Thomas Jefferson was not directly involved in the War of 1812, but that a number of policies and decisions that he made while he was president had a direct effect, and goes into detail about each one of those things that made a difference during the war. The Embargo Act of 1807, A through D. The Louisiana Purchase, all about that thing, and Thomas Jefferson's foreign policy decisions. This is very effective research. Number 2, planning trips, large or small. Starting with a local night out, I asked ChatGPT, can you help me plan a night out in Orlando, Florida? I'd like to find a free place to park, walk somewhere to get a piece of pizza, and then see a movie, maybe finish the night with a drink before finding a food truck that'll still be out late. Here's what it came up with. Certainly, here's a plan for a night out in downtown Orlando, Florida. Number 1, free parking. You can park at some free on-street parking spots after 6 p.m. or on Sundays. You may also find free parking in the Orange County Library System garage. Gives the address, after 6 p.m. on weekdays and all day on weekends. Number 2, grabbing a slice of pizza. It says to head to Lazy Moon Pizza, gives the address, which is known for its delicious and generously sized pizza slices. That's true. Lazy Moon has really big slices of pizza. They're pretty good. Number 3, from Lazy Moon Pizza, you can walk to Cobb Plaza Cinema Cafe, gives the address, which is an 18-minute walk away. The theater offers a wide selection of films, so you're sure to find something you like to watch, blah, 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 blah. Number 4, enjoy a drink. After the movie, head to the Courtesy, interesting, for a craft cocktail. The bar is a 5-minute walk from the cinema and offers a relaxed atmosphere. Number 5, late night food truck. As for food trucks that's open late, you can try checking out the food truck scene around Lake Eola Park, gives the address. That's true, there's a bunch of food trucks that hang out around Lake Eola. The trucks around the park often operate late, especially on weekends. Check social media updates for specific trucks and their operating hours. So I know this city pretty well, and Lazy Moon is kind of a little bit further than I'd like to walk. It did say it's an 18-minute, 20-minute walk anyway. I'd rather not. So one of ChatGPT's superpowers is follow-up questions because it's conversational. So I asked it a follow-up question, for the pizza and the movie, is there a way I can stay downtown and have a shorter walk between them? And it did. Here's an updated night out. Instead of Lazy Moon, you can visit Guido's Pizza with the address. It's located right in the heart of downtown Orlando. Guido's Pizza offers delicious pizzas with various toppings. From Guido's Pizza, you can easily walk to Cobb Plaza Cinema Cafe in just 3 minutes. ChatGPT says with this plan, you can enjoy a shorter walk between the pizza place and the movie theater, allowing you to spend more time enjoying your night out in Orlando. So that's local, but this can help you just as much with some place that's totally foreign to you, or totally foreign overall. I asked, we're taking a road trip through Europe. We're landing in Frankfurt, Germany, and I'd like to drive to Cern in Switzerland. This was a trip I did take with my wife last year. Where can I stop along the way to get a good cheeseburger? And also, is there a gondola on the top of a mountain somewhere I can ride up during the road trip? Chat GPT responds, taking a road trip from Frankfurt, Germany to Cern, Switzerland sounds like an amazing adventure. Thanks, Chat GPT. Here's a suggested route with a stop for a great cheeseburger and a gondola ride to the top of a mountain. Number 1, cheeseburger stop. On your way from Frankfurt to Cern, you can make a stop in Friedberg, Germany. Friedberg is a charming city in the Black Forest region. For a great cheeseburger, head to Burger Chalet. Gives the address. This popular burger joint offers high-quality cheeseburgers and other options made with fresh, local ingredients. Number 2, the gondola ride. After enjoying your cheeseburger in Friedberg, continue your drive towards Switzerland. Just before reaching the Swiss border, you can stop at the town of Todnau, saying that wrong, in Germany. From that place, you can take the Hasenborn-Rodelbahn gondola with the address to the top of Hasenhorn Mountain. Well, that sounds fun. At the top, you can enjoy stunning panoramic views of the surrounding Black Forest landscape. They are stunning, it's true. After your visit to Hasenhorn Mountain, continue your drive towards Cern in Switzerland. The total driving time from Frankfurt to Cern, including stops in Friedberg and Todnau, should be around 5 to 6 hours depending on traffic. Sticking with travel, number 3, tips for traveling out of the country. A couple of times a year, my wife and I like to travel to some faraway place and just experience other parts of the world. Something we've come across from time to time is that we found out it's pretty easy to accidentally offend people from other cultures that are completely different from ours here in the United States. You cannot hug hello in a lot of places. In 2021, we went to Egypt and Jordan. It was actually during the pandemic. Nobody was anywhere. It was really cool. This tool would have come in super handy for me then. I actually managed to get into a little trouble here and there with my American attitude on accident. So I typed in, I'm an American traveling to Egypt for the first time with my wife. For context, we are both tall and she is blonde. Are there any customs we need to be aware of so that we don't accidentally offend anybody that we meet? I know people are finding examples of when ChatGPT is occasionally inaccurate, but these are all spot on from my own experiences. 1, dress modestly. Both men and women should wear clothes that cover their shoulders and knees. 2, public displays of affection. It's best to avoid public displays of affection, such as kissing or hugging, as they may be considered inappropriate or offensive in Egyptian culture. 3, personal space. Egyptians may stand closer than you're used to, which can feel uncomfortable to some Westerners. It's important to be aware of this cultural difference and try not to pull away or appear uncomfortable. Number 4, greetings. A handshake is the most common form of greeting in Egypt. When greeting someone of the opposite sex, it's best to wait for them to extend their hand first, as some conservative Muslims may avoid physical contact with members of the opposite sex. That's true in almost every case that I experienced. I got a very dirty look from our guide, and he practically slapped my hand away from some woman that I was trying to greet with a handshake, as he had introduced her to us. Who knew? Number 5, photography. Be respectful when taking photos and always ask for permission before photographing locals. Do not take pictures of military things. It's strictly prohibited and may lead to serious consequences. This happened too. We went to Tahrir Square, where the Arab Spring had started over there, and there was a bunch of military guys who looked pretty badass, so I took a picture, and one of them literally sprinted over to our car screaming and grabbing at my camera. I pulled it away and turned it around and deleted the photo right in front of him, and our guide talked him down. That was pretty scary, and I also really wish I had that picture. Tipping is customary in Egypt. Number 7, during the holy month of Ramadan, for example, eating, drinking, and smoking in public during daylight hours is discouraged. And number 9, be aware of local scams. There were a ton of people trying to get our money at every turn. That's unfortunately very true. I've got a few dozen more good uses for this technology, so subscribe for more. There's a part 1 to this video that you can find here, so go watch that. We're in the beginning of a pretty big change. I expect that we will remember the 2020s as the birth of AI and large language models. I can't wait for this to make its way into video games so that the NPC characters can give me actually useful information about whatever town I'm walking into. That's ChatGPT. Moving on.